Hello everyone, welcome to Stag Studio. My name is Kello and I'm the president of Stag Radio Station, and I'm here with my two lovely guests. I'll just let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I am SK. I am the vice president of Stag Radio.
And I'm Christy, and I'm the treasurer.
Perfect. So the whole idea of Stag Studio is to make a podcast series in regards to how life in the Surrey community is. And I think the first episode should be what is Stag Radio, and what our values and our vision for Stag Radio. So ideally, as president, I would like to make Stag Radio a space where students feel like they can voice their opinions. They're able to come and talk about things that they're passionate about, but also learn about things that they could be passionate about. I think it's a very good platform for everyone that has a background in both the technical and non-technical field, given that I am a student studying economics and finance. And you get to learn more about yourself in regards to how you interact with the people around you, how you integrate yourself with the community that you're living in, but most importantly, being able to equip yourself with skills that you couldn't have been able to learn if you were in school. And I think that in itself is a great vision to have for Stag Radio, because Stag Radio has been in Surrey for quite a long time, like since 1972. Who was born in 1972? So it has been it's been one of the longest.
We are the longest.
The longest society.
Oh, the longest.
Sorry, yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, I was saying that over and over again in the freshers fair. I was like, this is the selling point.
One selling point at the station.
And it's always good to just have a vision and a mission for each society. And I'll just dive right into what my two other SIGs have, and just wanted to ask you guys, what are your personal goals for Stag Radio? What do you want to achieve by the end of your time
all right.
here?
So for me personally, I just wanted to start like using Stag Radio to kind of uplift some of the voices that are around Surrey. There are a lot of interesting people who I think would also benefit from having their voices heard, and like I've been just spitballing ideas with Rispa and also Adam, like the previous president of Stag Radio, just trying to figure out what other kind of directions we can go with, because Stag Radio was a little bit stagnated, no pun intended, but during like the pandemic. So I figured it's now that we can get things up and running again, we've got a lot of momentum, and I wanted to like start talking to different societies. There's loads of interesting societies around campus. There's some like new and some old, like there's like the Salsa and Bachata Society, and then like I was talking to them, or like with the Theatre Society, and also there's new societies like there's an F1 society, which is like not the ones who are interested in the mechanics of the cars, but people who are just interested in watching it. Okay. That's like one of the newest societies I came across. But all these people, I think, would be just interesting to kind of talk to and invite to the studio. There's musicians, loads of musicians around here. There's also like academics around campus. And there's just a wide breadth of people. Like each like student on campus has something of value to say, and I think this is a good space in order to like be able to get those voices heard. That's in a nutshell. No pressure on my part, but something I want to like start moving in the direction of.
Yeah. What about you?
Perfect. So for me, when I joined and saw what we have and the resources and things that we are as Stag Radio, I really want to kind of reach out and see what we could do to others, not just in the university. So more of a charitable type approach. So if you look at charities that use things like music therapy, such as Sound Minds, just to name the one I know off the top of my head, but they do help people with mental health issues, learning disabilities, physical disabilities through music, and get them into careers in the industry of radio and podcasts and that type of thing. So I really thought it would be good for us to kind of reach out to that, kind of give them a broader voice by using more the campus we have at our disposal, and kind of build connections there.
We have great plans for our members.
Yeah.
I think this year I'd say what is really, really locked in. Like if you ask me in one word what I think the vision is just expansion. Like I want anyone and everyone
Rapid
to know.
like an
Yeah,
empire.
yeah.
Massive expansion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking of like an exponential graph. Like
Stag radio on
I
top.
want by the time, I'm handing over my seat, that's if I do hand it over. I want people to know that most of the like marketing or most of the videos that they're seeing being put up on campus,
Yeah.
like it's been produced by Stag Radio.
Yeah.
But I think, as uni students, almost majority of what we do, if it's not tying into our own personal growth, it kind of ties into our own professional growth.
Yeah.
And you guys have just spoken to me in regards to what your personal achievements are. But in relation to your career, how do you say you being in Stag Radio, being a member or even, being in your role at the moment, how does it tie into what you aspire to be in the future?
Well, I'd say, I'm a politics student, so there's not really much of this in politics. But outside of what I was aiming for, which is kind of ambassadorial role type that thing, more civil service, not elected politics. But I did find interest in kind of political correspondence. So they're the blokes you see on the news in the boring suits outside the palaces and things, chatting about whatever. But for me, that did look quite interesting. You get to see the world. It's something that I enjoy talking about and along those aspects. So I really did think it would be somewhat good if I could get any sort of experience. So then when I was at the Fresh Fair, I saw yourself selling at one point as the eldest society on campus. I thought that could be a good laugh. And now, especially, I think we get to know each other a bit more. We all get to know the studio because there's quite a few new members. It's definitely good. And there's definitely a feeling of like inclusivity as well because, like you said, there's expansion this year. We've had quite a lot of new members kind of jump in at one, such as myself. So for me, that was the kind of experience. And I can only imagine it open a lot more doors from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
That's good to hear about you.
Just in terms of like my career, like I don't know. So my course is computer and internet engineering. So that's just within electrical engineering. But because at first I was wondering whether I'd want to just do the tech side of stuff, but just with my interests as well, I do like theater and stuff like that. So I think I'm also just interested in like developing the kind of the presentational skill, and as well as just the networking capability of Stag Radio is incredible. Like just being able to talk to all these different other people has been really beneficial. And then beyond that, I think it would also just, I'm trying to figure out how to say it would look good on my CV without saying that. But just, I think it's a good kind of skill to have in your background to be able to work with presenting or like video and audio editing, and also just being able to know the like actually how to rig the stuff up is a lot more closer to what my actual course is. Like we have projects on like building and making mics and amplifiers and stuff, but actually being able to use them and all the other stuff that goes into developing and then marketing a podcast, it's developing a lot of skills at once, like technical skills as well as social skills that you can take with you even when you're outside the studio. It helps. So I guess it's just important to me to be able to flesh out and like develop those skills in and out of the studio. So yeah,
I think to just summarize what you guys have just said in a one phrase, it would just be to gain transferable skills. There's so many skills that we're gaining from even having such interactions like this. Like we have to try and stay professional.
Yeah.
And we're in university.
It's more challenging for some than others. Yeah. As we found out before we started recording.
Like that's a skill that everyone needs to have because it's not like you're raised to be a professional person from the moment you start working. Like, you have to be in such scenarios where you actually have to, control what you need to say, and you have to actually really think twice about how you want to put across your point. You're gaining transferable skills, and I think that's the one thing that I kind of had to understand, especially coming from an economics and finance background, is that in terms of the technical skills that I'm gaining, through whatever editing or recording that I'm doing, it's not particularly gonna tie into my career path. It's not really gonna help me when I'm busy trying to balance, like balance sheets or anything. But whenever it comes to interactions I'm having, hopefully we get to actually attract highly skilled and successful like individuals who would want to come to our podcast and talk to people and tell them about their journey. And having such interactions would make me feel like I'm progressing, I'm growing as a person, because I'm getting to learn the skills on how to be a professional individual, how to interact with people in such spaces. But also I think because it's entirely two different backgrounds, like I'm learning how to be comfortable not being in my own comfort zone, because I'm so used to my maths and numbers. I don't need to interact with people as much. So coming on here, I have to speak to people, which obviously initially was very, I think the word would be uncomfortable, just because I wasn't used to it. But now my role demands me to, so I have to. So the skills that I've learned, and I think that's just a good way to summarize it. And we're hoping that the members of our society also find it beneficial for them to gain the skills. And just touching on our members, I mean, aside from having podcasts like this, just highlight to the people what type of different activities we have on Stag Radio.
Yeah.
Sorry, the question.
Oh, that was a question, right?
Okay.
Well, the ones we spoke about already. There's the DJing workshops with our DJ, whose name is
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
There we go.
Don't tell that person, Cyrus. I'm so bad with names. So there's that. There's the podcasts. Do you want to name the rest?
There's street interviews and stuff like that we've been trying to work on, and hopefully presenting and like hosting different events and stuff. Like people have already reached out to me to host different societal events and things like that. So just in terms of the presentation, like that's what I'm talking about, presentable skills. I mean, skills and presentation outside of the studio. There's lots of people who want to reach out to us. The Boiler Room also reached out to us if like we ever wanted to do something with them. Like there are actually also I mean, you said outside of podcasts, but just the range of stuff that we can do within podcasts is also just important as well, because there's loads of musicians and like kind of, I would say like really important people who are also asking, to be interviewed by us. Like there are so many opportunities that are coming like thick and fast, approaching us. That I think it's good to take advantage of. And there's loads of stuff to do, like in terms of hosting of outside, and then interviews, podcasts, the DJing stuff. There's I'm trying to think of there's other things that we want to like expand into. There's like,
I feel like there are
tentative plans to like maybe going to like helping other people do like I don't know, music stuff, because I was thinking like lounge sessions could also be a thing that we could pull off in here. But there's lots of like tentative ideas, which is why I'm hesitant to be like, oh, we're going to do this and this, and then not do any of them.
There's a lot to work out, I think, with everything.
Yeah. But
that's a good thing about Stag Radio is that there's room for improvement. Like we have so much space to introduce so many different ideas. So the room for flexibility is huge.
But
which is a good thing.
That's the thing. I wouldn't want to brush aside, even if all we did was podcasts, that wouldn't be like we were lacking in the range and depth of the kind of content and stuff that we can produce anyway. And then the fact that we can have so much and then also move outside of that as well, with like DJing is I think the secondary biggest thing that's coming out of us. Shout out to Cyrus with the Power Cut 1 and 2 as well.
Shout out to Cyrus.
Sorry, I forgot your name.
But so that's like the second biggest thing to coming out of it. But like it's just there's a lot that we're capable of.
That's true. And I think our capabilities they're not just limited to what technical or I'd say professional skills we have to offer the members. Also looking at the welfare aspect of the community, because at the end of the day, as much as we are involving the Sari community, there's also the community at large, the community outside of Sari, which will lead me to coming to your point, Christy, in regards to charities. Do you just want to talk about that in a nutshell?
Yeah, so again, there are the big charities that already kind of have these things, but you hear stories all the time, and I'm sure there's plenty on campus of people, whether there was this artist helping get through that, or they've always found a thing of music, or they've used to express themselves, And it's just the question, we've got our members and we've got the podcast, we can reach out to society and get all that. But if there are people who generally benefit from it, whether it's with a physical disability or a mental disability, then why not open our doors to it? And if we can kind of partner with charities, again, like Sound Minds, I will learn more charities that do this to name these episodes. But if we can partner with them kind of, in a tit-for-tat way, we can learn from them how it works. We can hear from people who are members of their charities, and we can hear how it's helped them, and kind of take from that and then bring it to the University of Surrey to begin with, and then kind of the wider range. Who knows where that will go? Who knows how big it will get? But it's definitely something worth us opening our doors and looking for.
That is true. That is true. I think from what my vice president and treasurer spoke. I don't know why I keep on saying president. It's as if you actually want to give it this job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went at this rate. We do so much.
I think this swap needs to be had. Sorry about that. I think what my vice president and treasurer have spoken about, just showing you that we have so much to offer.
The potential is unlimited.
It is unlimited, and I'm grateful to be sitting here with two highly skilled, highly motivated, ambitious people. Very funny. Let me put that in there. Like the comedians at best, and
thanks.
I think this just shows.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Okay, I've been thrown off guard, and I'm the interviewer. But just to wrap this up, we just have so much in store for Stag Radio and Stag Studio as the podcast. I think we wanna take this far and not limit it to who we can bring onto the podcast. Probably gonna be mostly focusing on the societies within Surrey, just so that we can give people a broader idea of what Surrey has to offer rather than just Stag Radio. But do stay tuned, and thank you for tuning in to our Surrey Studios podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.